Hey, welcome back to my Antistasi Altis Let's Play. Took a little bit longer than 5 minutes to get everything put together here, and there was a little bit of prep time that I spent not recording, but here we are, and we're ready to go continue our scouting mission from the first Let's Play. And I'm just going to kind of look at this on the map here. So, this is the village that I had done that little recon of where I lost Levantis, unfortunately. And this whole village has got apparently a pretty sizable garrison in it. What I need to find out is what kind of presence the AAF has in these hills. And I also just kind of want to get a first-hand look at this terrain so I can understand what it looks like when I'm doing operations in this valley down here, because I'm certainly going to get some missions I'm going to have to do in and around Negades, and certainly more in and around Agios Konstantinos. The number one thing that we're searching for is a base that has a mortar. And there's a lot of these little outposts that sit in the hills. Oh, whoops. Whoops, gotta get in the front. A lot of these little bases that sit out in the hills. And they'll have a couple guys and a mortar or an anti-aircraft launcher. And I want to start clearing these out, not only because I need to make sure that they're cleared out so I can operate freely in the area, but also because I want to steal their stuff. So I'm going out by myself today on a quad bike. I want to make sure that I'm not losing any additional AI soldiers. If you look up at the top of the screen, I'll try to point this at the ground so it's easier to see. You can see that there's something that says HR7 next to FIA money. HR is the number of rebels that I can hire, and it's also, every time I die, I lose an HR. So it acts kind of like how many lives I have. So I don't want to needlessly bring any AI soldiers out with me because I haven't had the ability to train up my AI at all. So they're kind of bad at the game right now, and I don't want to risk them unnecessarily, like poor Levantis. So we're going to drive up a little bit north of Agios Konstantinos. You can see it's still pretty overcast today, despite being really late morning. And just to give a little overview of what I have equipped here, I do have instead of going incognito this time and trying to blend in as a civilian, I'm going out armed. I've got a decent helmet and an armored vest, along with a sniper rifle that I'm using one of the scopes I started the game with. I only have 2 of these. They're probably the most valuable thing in that box, but I'm taking one out today. And a little bit of ammo for it. So we're just going to try to find where that drone was coming from, because there was a UAV spotting us during that last mission. And that usually means that there's a base nearby that that UAV belongs to, because they don't just fly around on their own. As you can see, Arma's vehicle physics are next level simulation. But these little ATVs are nice because they're fast and they have good speed off-road. And they're also very inexpensive. They only cost me 50 euros, which means that they're a solid choice for just sort of blindly probing into enemy territory like I'm doing right now. And there we have the UAV. I wonder if I could shoot that down. Alright, I'm being stupid. We're not going to try to shoot a UAV down with a rifle. It would have been cool if it worked, but I don't want to waste my ammo on it. Oh! Yeah, so the reason that we're concerned about this UAV is that UAVs tend to spot for mortar teams, so there is absolutely a mortar team in the area. And right now they're probably firing at my last known position. So, yep, and there they are. Want to make sure that we stay moving here because yeah, because that mortar is hungry. Oh boy. All right. So I think they're still. All right. We're gonna let this UAV see me here, and then we're gonna move, and hopefully they're gonna shell that location. Because I want to get out and I want to take a look at this base through my binoculars. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely... Alright, that's not fully rendered. There's definitely a base up there. It's covered by some emplaced machine guns. And it's just at the limit of my render radius. I have to... Holy shit! Okay. So, mortars don't, you don't fuck around with mortars. And I'm fucking around with mortars a little bit right now, so, okay. Let's not get too close to this base because those machine guns are going to snack on me, but I do want to kind of get an idea of what kind of base it is I'm dealing with here. I'm wondering what kind of problem it's going to cause that I'm not going to be able to shoot down that UAV. I do not want it to follow me back to my base. Otherwise, I'm currently not seeing any other enemy presence out here in the hills. So, I can just check where I am real quick. I'm at, if I look at my GPS, I'm at 049 by 181. So I'm about here, and I've stayed here for too long. The trees do tend to block the drone's line of sight. Okay, I'm close enough I can hear the mortar now. So we're going to do something potentially really stupid and drive right up this hill. And just see what we can see. So I want to be very careful to make sure I don't get killed here, because like I said, I don't want to run out of HR, and I also don't want to lose this rifle. So I'm being incredibly stupid right now, but I should be inside of the minimum range of the mortar. I do not think that my ATV is inside the minimum range of the mortar though, so... So why am I not in third person right now? Mostly just because I don't want to cheese. And I like using third person because I think there are times where it's... Oh my. Well, I have a remarkable ability to say that I'm not going to do something because it's stupid, and then I do it. So we're going to deal with some of these machine guns. Okay. Oh god. Oh god, that's a tank. Oh no. So, hey Petros. I'm just gonna lay down for a minute and think about what I did. So, for whatever reason, when you die, you don't lose your helmet. You lose everything else, but you don't lose your helmet. So that's a little goofy, but clearly not the best idea. Kind of knew that as I was doing it, but there is now for sure we can say there's a base up here, and it had what looked like a Tunguska. So that's bigger than the AA bases that Antistasi had the last time I played. Those were really just little 4 or 6-man outposts that might have a mortar, but they had a self-propelled anti-air gun up there, which I don't even know how to go about killing. I guess I do have some rocket tubes in here, but those things are really capable of anti-infantry work as well. So I don't even know if one of these 72.5mm rockets will kill it. But okay, so we've confirmed that's where the drone is coming from, and really until I remove this outpost, I probably can't do much down in these areas, or else I'm going to start taking mortar fire. So taking out this outpost is going to have to be a major objective of mine. Similarly up here, I'm sure this base has a mortar as well. And so most of these outposts also have an associated roadblock. So probably somewhere along this road, and maybe also somewhere along this road, there's going to be a roadblock. And roadblocks are problematic because you can't drive past them when you're undercover. They will actually break your undercover. So those are probably going to be the two... I'll put another thing down here. These are going to be my 2 major objectives for the early game, is clearing out these locations so I can operate freely in these areas without taking mortar fire, which, as you saw, really shuts your shuts your game down. So I'm down to a single optical sniper sight, which isn't great, and I don't really want to take on either of those bases at this moment. So we're going to talk to Petros and see what he has for us in terms of missions. Sometimes missions are randomly assigned to you, but you can also prompt the game to give you a mission. Like right now, I've just had the game give me city supplies, and it wants me to drive this truck that just spawned all the way to Negades and basically sit there and bring the citizens of Negades rifles and medical supplies and food and whatever else it is they need. The reason I would do this is because, and I'll show you in a minute, if I click on a town on the map, I can see how much support they have with the national military and how much support we have. We are the FIA, by the way, which stands for a Free and Independent Altis. And the AAF is the Armed Altis Forces, even though right now they've been replaced with 1980s Soviet troops. And I need to run some missions to win over the people of Negades, which will also give me some more NATO support, which can be cashed in for a variety of useful things. So for this, I'm going to want to go undercover. I'll want to put this back in the box. I like the fedora, but I think we're going to take it... is that a little too ostentatious? You know, I like that I can just put the tattoos on there. I think we're going to go with the striped shirt and a backpack to store it all in. And again, we're going to do this one pretty much solo, because I want to limit the amount of HR I lose if I fuck something up. So we're just going to take a drive here. This Boxer doesn't handle quite as well as the ATV did, but we'll make do. Yeah, it really doesn't take corners very well. So you probably noticed that if you played a lot of Arma before, that the gun sounds and the mortar sounds sound different than they do in the vanilla game. And this is because I'm running a mod called JSRS for Apex, which is a sound mod that replaces all of the sounds in the game, from the sound of closing vehicle doors to the gun sounds, to add a lot of realism and make the reports of the rifles a lot more interesting. So we are just gonna try to coast through Agios Konstantinos here without losing undercover. I'm gonna keep a little bit of a closer eye out for any dogs that I might come across. Let's see the fine citizens of Agios Konstantinos out enjoying this bleak day, and we're just gonna... Yeah, these guys have absolutely... Yeah, he's just a Formula 1 racer that lives here. This is his hometown. I hope I didn't kill that bunny. We're just gonna try to skate past that. So up on that hill, I can see those two radio towers that have overwatch over Negades, and anything I do in Negades is going to have to be quick, because if I don't do it quickly, reinforcements from that base are going to come down the hill and make me wish I was better at the game. So to provide a little more information on how the undercover system works, I will be ignored by the military so long as I don't behave suspiciously, meaning obviously that I don't walk around carrying a rifle, but also making sure that I stay on the roads and I don't drive too close to a base and I don't try to drive through a roadblock. So oddly enough, I can run civilians over with the car, and the AAF doesn't really seem to care about that, but you know, they're a bunch of like ultra-nationalist, totalitarian assholes, so big surprise. So these civilians are just calling out my location to each other with range and bearing, because that's the kind of conversation that people have on this island. And yeah, got into a little trouble there. Wish I could pull you out, buddy, but that's gonna be a little hard. Not a setting where, oh, alright, good. So, I also lose undercover by just bringing this vehicle to the center of town, and now, if you look at the top of the screen, it shows a progress bar for... Alright, I'm gonna need everybody to get out of here, because I don't want you all to get shot. So I just need to make sure this truck doesn't get messed with. For like a minute and a half, and then Mission accomplished. I'm just going to mount my gun on this window. Sometimes the AI lets you get away with it, and it doesn't really send a response. So I'm a little surprised that I can't see any enemies here. That, I think, is an enemy, though, because all of the civilians talk in American voices, for some reason. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I can't see exactly where they are, but they're on the other side of this building somewhere. And this AKS is kind of a crappy gun. Yeah. And you see they got too close, so the timer at the top restarted. But I'm going to steal this guy's AK-74 because the ammunition between these two, I think, is compatible. And it might have just been the two of them. Oh, yeah, good thing he wasn't interested in fighting, because that could have gone really badly. I did not see him. So this soldier has surrendered to me, and when they surrender, they just kind of stand there, and you can take their stuff because it shows up in a box that I guess they carry with them in the event that they have to surrender, and give you all their stuff. Probably a misallocation of resources. So I can talk to this guy, and I can either interrogate him to try to get some information about the AAF, or I can offer to have him join my rebellion. So I'm going to do that because I need the HR. You have one chance. Join us and help us liberate Altis from tyranny. Spelled poorly. And then he says, screw you. So I have no further opportunity to interact with him. I could shoot him, but that just doesn't seem sporting. And, I mean, he looks really scared. Look at those eyes. How wide they are. Let's see what he has here. He's got some stuff. Oh, he was a machine gunner. Okay. So there's probably other squads around here, and I shouldn't be paying attention to this guy as much as I am. But the AI gives you, I think it's like a 40% chance of joining when you ask them to. So I've completed the city supplies, but unfortunately... Oh. Normally these trucks run out of fuel after that mission, but I guess they changed that with the most recent patch. But I don't really want this boxer truck. I want that guy's truck. And he is having a hard time getting unstuck, so we're going to try something that sometimes works. Oops. Which is when you get in the passenger seat. He didn't like that very much. Sometimes when you get in the passenger seat, you can convince them to get out. But that's apparently not in play here. The people of Altis and Stratus are, like, without question, just really poor drivers. I wonder if I can get this guy to give me his car. How you doing, man? Can I have your car? He doesn't want to make eye contact. Well, that's what you get. I hope you enjoy. I don't want that. So just gonna loot these guys real quick. Throw all their stuff in. And unfortunately I can't get his helmet or his vest because... Here, I'll even you out there, buddy. Oh no! Some people. So how do I get out of here? I'm gonna just come out the way I came. The challenge now is gonna be getting this truck back to base because I'm no longer undercover and the AAF somehow magically knows that by looking at me. So my solution to this is just going to be to go really fast. Sometimes the AI takes a minute to recognize you if you're in a vehicle, so we're just going to book it right through Agios Konstantinos, and hopefully that takes care of it. I got no time to take any corners here. Ah! Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, no! Oh, no. No. Oh. They just dive in front of you, man. They just dive in front of you. So you can see I lost a little money for that, and I also lost some NATO support up top. So I guess the first guy was a freebie, but the second one cost me a little more. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't see any enemies there because I was kind of hoping I could justify road killing 2 civilians that I'm trying to liberate. So I'm sure that my support with Agios Konstantinos has just completely deteriorated. But that's okay, you know? I don't think they like me that much to start with, so... Oh, fuck, fuck, fuck. Okay. I gotta remember this thing doesn't really handle like a smaller truck. As I do more of these, I may... Oh. Weird. I guess that truck instantly despawned. Sometimes the vehicles that you use as part of the missions are treated a little bit differently than other vehicles. And let me see if I actually ended up getting the stuff I took off those guys. And it looks like I did get that stuff. So I picked up another... picked up another PKP. I've got some rifles. And just to explain something over here, if you look on the right side where my mouse is, it says Arsenal Unlocking Requirements. I can eventually add weapons and gear to my arsenal by just collecting, like, enough of it. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense the more you think about it, but it does give you some incentive to hoard gear, because not only will I have access to unlimited, say, anti-air launchers when I get them unlocked, but also my AI soldiers can only use weapons that are found in the arsenal, and right now the only thing I have is that AKS-74, which is a shitty gun. So that's kind of what I'm building towards in the early parts of this game. I do have some NATO support, which was, and let's, and Negades now will have some city support with me if I go and check the board. Yeah, so you can see I went from having 1% support to having 16% support, and that will increase the amount of money I get from them. Like every 10 minutes, I think you get a little cash injection that's based on all the resources and cities you control. And you also get an HR injection if you have enough support. So that's what we're kind of building towards. But I also have some NATO support now. So before we close here, I'm going to use this NATO support to order myself an ammo drop, which it doesn't want me to do. So we're going to put a radio into inventory. And I can order the ammo drop anywhere on the map that I want, but I obviously want it pretty close to my base. I don't want it to be too close to the sea because it does drift a little bit. They're going to come and paradrop a crate. So we're going to drop it kind of up there. And then if I go into high command, which is bound to the same key as my vault button, I can order this helicopter to fly up here and drop it off. And I think this is where we're going to break for now, and I'll restart the recording when the helicopter is ready to drop the stuff off, and I'll show you what that looks like.